You well anyway?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, all good. How are you?
Brilliant. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Looking forward to this. So,
Me
um,
too.
I'll launch straight in question one.
Yeah.
And I would love to go back to the very beginning for your kind of musical journey and, find out a little bit where you grew up and how you kind of discovered your passion for music.
Yeah, so I'm from the Lake District, a town called Barrow-in-Furness. And I used to play on my mum's keyboard. She had like a keyboard. She did keyboard lessons like once a week when I was like really small.
Ah,
And I used to just, like play on that and like all throughout my like childhood, I used to always just like get the keyboard out and play on it. And then that's literally how it all started really, my
yeah.
music. Yeah.
And were you one of these kids that, like Christmases, like family occasions, you had the keyboard out, putting on a show?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, like but people would ask me to play the piano, and
Uh,
I was always going to be like, oh, no, like play the piano and sing. But yeah, I did do it.
uh, so kind of what was the kind of first artist that you really started to connect with when you were kind of aware of music and started listening to music?
As in, like, who did I used to listen to? Like,
Yeah,
who was
when you
my
were younger. Yeah.
inspiration? I was a massive Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, like absolutely loves Michael Jackson from when I was literally like 2 years old. I was like, there's videos of me like dancing to Michael Jackson. Yeah, so that's how it like the music kind of started for me, really, from those songs.
Yeah. Amazing. It's a good entry point.
Yeah.
So kind of now thinking about yourself as a songwriter, what is your process like? Because someone that doesn't write music, it's quite hard to kind of envision sitting down and writing a song. Are you kind of envisioned, I can envision, spontaneous things happening, and then well, let me write a song about that. Or is it more of a kind of right, I'm going to sit and write and kind of see what comes?
It's a mixture, really. Like sometimes something will happen and I'll be inspired by that moment. So it might even be lyrics. So I'll just start writing lyrics down on my phone in notes. Or I'll voice note like a melody or like something that's come to me. I'll be just walking in like on the tube and like singing a melody and then I'll like get it down. But then sometimes like I'll go to a writing session with like a producer and another songwriter maybe. And we'll just start writing it there and then. So I'll sit at the piano and start playing and to see what comes. And if we get inspired by the chords, and then usually then I've got some ideas for lyrics. Like I've got like a lot of notes in my phone, so I kind of go back and say, oh, what about this? Or sometimes you just start singing like random melodies. And some random words might pop out, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then sometimes it just comes from nowhere, and you can kind of like build a whole song around it.
Amazing. And is it a sort of mood dependent thing? Like, if you are in a good mood, is it naturally sort of feel good tunes that you would write, or does that not really matter?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say it does depend on mood. Sometimes, but sometimes you could just be in the mood to write like a love song, or you could be in the mood to write something sad. Not necessarily that you are like feeling that right now, but you could just be feeling like you want to express that.
And do you kind of like draw on like specific people and specific kind of, relationships, I suppose, or people you've kind of met to kind of inspire the songs, or is it just kind of sort of almost fictional?
I definitely write from like a place of truth for myself. Yeah. So I always go to stories that have happened to me or stories that have happened to like my friends or people close to me. But yeah, I usually try and like write it on a specific subject or topic that's close to me. But I do like to write it so it's so you can put your story on it as well.
That's that, and there is definitely a relatable quality, especially Love or Lie. There is that kind of, it transfers between people. Um,
Yeah.
are you always imagining yourself singing it? Because I know obviously you've contributed to lots of kind of tracks out there as a writer as well. Do you ever think, okay, I can picture like a female voice singing this, or is it always kind of you singing it, and then if maybe clicks with someone else, that's great.
Sometimes I'll write specifically for my artist project, so then I'm thinking this is for me, yeah. But then sometimes I'll do sessions where we've got another artist in mind, for example, and so then we'll kind of like hone in on that. Or there's times where we've been kind of writing just a song, let's see what happens, and then it can like I go either way really.
Um, so obviously the new single, you've got the amazing Camden Cox on there as well, which was amazing. How did that collaboration come about?
I don't know if you're familiar with one of my other songs called Runaway. I released that at the beginning of last year. She's a co-writer on that as well. It's
Okay.
the same three people on Love or a Lie as Runaway. But we first did a session probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. And we wrote a song for Camden, and it was just put together from our music managers connecting us. That was
Okay.
how we connected. And we just worked so well together, the three of us, that the next two sessions we did, we kind of was like, oh, that's right for me this time. And then, yeah, that's how it came about.
And I guess you must sort of build up a bit of a process with these sort of same people. If you're working with them repeatedly, you kind of get to know each other, and then you must gel quite well. Does that then make it slightly harder when you work with someone new that maybe you don't have that instant sort of relationship with?
Yeah, definitely. It's always like almost a bit of pressure, isn't it? To when you're working with someone new to be like, oh, what's this going to be like? Because you literally don't know. Like if it's just a random person, say I've just connected to someone on Instagram or like a manager's like contacted me and said, oh, can we set up a session? You kind of go in blind and
Yeah,
it's like, you don't know what it's going to be
yeah.
like.
And I suppose
Um,
you need to get through the awkward kind of getting to know you stuff as
yeah.
well as working together.
Yeah, and also you kind of like sometimes it's a bit of a therapy session because you're like, this is all my shit I'm going through. Like, let's write a song about it. So you kind of like meeting someone for the first time and being like, whoa, this is all my baggage kind of thing.
Yeah,
But it is nice when you find like your little teams of people that you do work with and then you go back to write again. Like if there's a few people that I love to write with, and a lot of the time just like to hang out with as well, because most of the time we're like 80% chatting and having a laugh,
yeah.
20% writing the song.
And I guess like it's almost like a shortcut to like a relationship. If you're going there, you're immediately firing out all your kind of honest truths and these personal experiences. It kind of fast tracks things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely feel like you become friends quite quickly from just having one session together.
Amazing. So Love or Lie, it kind of taps into that sort of complex nature relationships, and how maybe one person might perceive one thing, but it may not actually be, as it seemed. What was the kind of inspiration behind that?
With Love or a Lie, I just wanted to write something that was almost about something if something negative's happening, or not even something negative, it just whatever's happening in that moment, and if you're a bit unsure about something, I wanted it to be like I wanted it to be a bit of a like a euphoria feeling of like let's just enjoy this moment. Like even if we don't know what's coming in the future, and even if we've got baggage from the past, let's just like enjoy this present moment. And if it's love, amazing. If it's a lie, well, let's just carry on with it and see what
Enjoy it.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's a sort of transferable message, I suppose, isn't it? That you can draw on your own personal relationships and past relationships, and definitely see times where you thought, okay, it's been the lie, and then hopefully been the love also.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously you've had an amazing year with Wicked Game, Miss You Naked, Louder. It's been a real kind of home run. What are you thinking? Like, is it going to build an EP or maybe an album, or are you just kind of happy with the single approach for now?
Yeah, I would like to have done an EP really with these songs, but I'm already on to like the next EP now. So I kind of feel like I should have released one more song, which would have like collaborated these songs onto
Yeah,
an EP. So I've kind of like not planned ahead well enough for that. So I think I don't know, like it'd be nice to do like the next single. It'd be nice to kind of finish off that kind of this year and make
yeah,
an EP out of those songs. Um, but I am already starting writing the next like project, the next lot of songs, and I've got quite a lot of those songs ready. So my plan was to start releasing that, but then it means that these songs would just end up being singles and they
yeah.
wouldn't be like a group. But the next project will be an EP, so there'll be like 4 or 5 songs that are part of a collection of songs, and I'll start releasing them like early 2023 and release them like every 6 weeks or something.
Amazing. And like, what are you thinking for the mood of these songs? Or are they all kind of slightly different?
So my sound this year has been quite poppy, hasn't it? Like very like quite down the middle pop, and these are going to be a little bit more like cinematic almost, and a bit more like ethereal,
Mm.
and yeah, very like almost like a bit thought provoking, like emotional, bit more sad.
Okay. So we'll get
Yeah.
the tissues ready for 2023.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so when it comes to like a single release, I'd love to know kind of what elements you have to kind of manage yourself and which elements you bring in a team for. So obviously you'll do your videos, your cover art, your promotion and stuff. Is that quite an ordeal to kind of manage all that stuff, or do you have a sort of a team that you can go to support that?
So I'm self-managed. So I actually manage myself. So I do everything. Yeah. I literally like make the artwork, do the music video, do all the Instagram socials and like little clips, make like the social media posts and stuff. But then yeah, like I distribute it I do use a record label to distribute my music though. So that's quite nice because they help with pitching to like Apple Music, Amazon, all those kind of places for playlists. So that side of it is really good because I can kind of just give it to them to do their thing. But yeah, everything else I do myself, and it's quite a
Amazing.
lot to think about.
Yeah. You I
Yeah,
guess you have to be like a master of so many different like trades. You have to have your like, video production skills, your photography skills, your like
yeah,
promo, like social media. Like
yeah,
it's all
exactly, yeah.
consuming.
And the video that I made, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram for Love or a Lie. I just made like a clip, a visual for Instagram, but I made that myself just out in my garden with my flatmate.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Get the flatmate and get anyone you can.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But again, that shows how good things are because it looks so polished, and you would think there was a full team of people all kind of hands on deck with that. So hats off to you, because it's amazing.
Thank you.
Um, Thinking now that again another huge ordeal. I say ordeal like it's a bad thing. It's really a good thing. But are there any plans to tour? Because I guess that's quite a big production as well to kind of
Yeah,
a smaller tour.
so I definitely got a taste of the tour in life this year because I played at London Pride.
Yeah.
Uh, I played the main stage at London Pride, so I got my band together, had rehearsals with them. We obviously performed, and I just absolutely loved every second of it performing live. And also we made live versions of the songs. So we made like Louder had this like amazing instrumental like opening like intro, which was so good because then I introduced the band over that, and it's so nice. And then I played at another festival as well, back up from where I'm from. So I would love to do more live stuff next year, definitely. But I need to look for a booking agent really and like just send out some live footage and try and get. It's quite hard to get you the gigs, I think. If I'm just like emailing the organizers like, hey, like I'm an artist, like, can I play at your festival? I think they're a bit like, so you kind of need someone like on the team now for
Yeah.
that kind of thing to get you like the gig. So yeah, that's my plan now for the rest of this year, just to try and focus on that and make some connections in that world.
And it's amazing that you've had like London Pride and stuff, and that's such a big gig to actually say, "Well, I've done this," and then hopefully off the back of that, good things will follow.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, yeah. And that I can't remember how I got that gig. Oh, yeah, I actually played a gig at the Ned in London,
Okay.
and it was like a night called New Music Mondays, and I just did like a little set there. And someone from Pride saw me playing that gig and then contacted me and said, "Oh, we're doing London Pride. Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was just how it happened. So it definitely like opportunities create opportunities, you know.
And did you have the chance to see anyone else at London Pride, or was it all kind of focused on your performance?
Yeah, I stuck around to watch Ava Max at the end. She was
Amazing.
headlining. Yeah, because I didn't work with her, but she released a song that I wrote, so I kind of wanted to like go and watch the live performance. Yeah.
And he just like that. That's me. Yeah, that's my song. Um, so we've spoken about tour. What about kind of music videos? Are you thinking of you've obviously done your visuals for Love or Lie. Um, the actual process of a music video, is that something you enjoy? Is the sort of filmmaking element up your street?
I do love making my music videos, and usually I work with like this amazing cinematographer called Russell Kent Nichols. He did the music video for Louder,
Great.
but the thing is, he's so busy. Like he's so busy with his like video like jobs that he like yeah, especially in the summer, like he doesn't have much time to do it. So usually I'll grab him in the winter and like try and do a few videos like we did with Louder, even though it looks like it was in the summer, it was in the winter and
Oh,
just on a sunny.
really?
Yeah, it was freezing. I was literally freezing in that car. It's not hard to think. But I am working with him at the end of November on a video. So we're gonna do. we're not going to make like a full like video like we have done in the past, but we're going to make like a small short version for one of the next singles. So that's exciting, and I love working with him. He's so good.
So many people are consuming like music videos on TikTok and Instagram. So a lot of time a minute of footage is sometimes all you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like, well, it is worth it, like making a video, and more because it's so fun, like a full video. But really, the purpose of doing it is to promote the song, isn't it? So really, you only need like, I was quite happy with what I made in the garden for Love or Lie, just because it was just something visual to have on um platforms that engaging, you know.
Yeah. You mentioned Louder being freezing. Where was that filmed?
It was filmed in Kent.
All right.
Yeah, it
It,
was filmed in Kent. It looks like we're in like Vegas or something,
yeah,
doesn't it?
it looks like Spain, Gran Canaria. You look like
Yeah.
you found a nice piece of desert spot.
It's literally
Um,
like an hour drive from where I live. Like, and yeah, we found this like beach with like the long grass, and then that's the talent of Russell. He's so good at coloring it, so it makes it look like you're somewhere else.
and it's a place to be, clearly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would love to know. Obviously, you've spoken a little bit about the tracks that are coming in the next sort of EP. What is your best unreleased track? You've got sitting there that you're thinking this is great, like you're really proud of.
Ah, it's hard because I love all the new songs that are coming, but I think let me just get the titles up and then I'll tell you. Um, so what would it be? I think it's one called Sundown.
Okay.
Song called Sundown. I think that might be my favorite.
And what's the vibe of that?
It's kind of electronic slash chilled. It's I don't know. It's hard to. I always find it really hard to like describe the genre of my genre. But yeah, you'd have to just wait and see to hear
Yeah,
it.
I know. I'm being
Yeah.
nosy. I'm prying now. I know it's funny because I'm one of these people. I do like to box things up into genres, and I know that's an artist's nightmare because obviously it's so much kind of connected to the emotions and sort of general vibe. But I quite don't know. Is it pop? Is it country? Like where are you going?
I'm definitely staying in the pop lane, I think, but
Yeah.
maybe a bit more electronic, cinematic pop than like poppy.
Um, do you have any recommendations on anyone that viewers and myself should be listening to?
Yes, my favorite artist in the whole world is a Norwegian artist called Emily Nicholas.
Okay.
She's amazing. Like, just listen to her albums.
And is
Yeah,
she quite like has she been around for a little while or is she quite up and coming?
she's been around for a while, I think. She's very well known in Norway. Like one of the top artists in Norway, I think. But she's hasn't really broke the UK and America and like outside of. I don't think she's really broken outside of Norway, which is
Yeah.
a real shame because she's super talented. Like literally my favorite artist in the world. Um, and I've been listening to her songs for about like 5 years, maybe. Like I started listening to her second album. Didn't really listen to the first one, but the second album I got into, it's called Tranquil Emily. And then during that time, she released the third album, which I was also obsessed with. That's called Let Her Breathe. And she's just released a new single called Easy, which is amazing. And I think that's going to be the start of the third album, fourth album, but third album for me because I only listen from two.
Amazing. The Scandinavians just do pop music so well.
So good, yeah. And it's almost like a real mashup of genres as well. It's like very electronic. There's loads of like synth and electronic, and the new single has also got like a bit of a trancey beat to it. Like it's so good. But then she's worked with Bjork. So
Oh
if you know
wow.
Bjork,
Yeah.
got that folky kind of vocals on it. There's lots of bits that are kind of like trappy and like she loves hip hop. Like it's a real mash of
Yeah.
genres, but it's just like the best like salute like what's the word solution.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. We'll check her out. It's
Check
Emily
her out.
Nicholas.
Yeah, and it's spelled Emilie, Emily. Yeah, and then Nicholas. You'll find it if you just search for her on Spotify.
Right. We'll get a collab started from this. We'll get her
Yeah,
tagged.
yeah. I wish. But yeah, check her out. She's so good.
Cool. Um, you've kind of tapped on Emily's music, obviously. What would you say are your three kind of essential go-to albums if you had to, choose three that like were top three, I guess.
Top three albums. It would be, well, can I use two of hers? No, just one of them.
It's up to you. Yeah,
It
go
would
for two
be
if you
it
want.
would literally be her first album, her second album, and then another one would be Yeba's album,
Fair.
Dawn. I love that album. Now let me give you another one because I feel like the Emily one's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? And I would say, let me just look in my Spotify. The Yebba album, definitely. And I might even say like Lana Del Rey's Paradise edition of Born to Die.
Yeah.
I love that album.
But the Born to Die is just it's timeless, isn't
So
it?
good.
Yeah, for a kind of modern album to be so timeless is unreal.
Yeah. I'm just looking
Um,
at the others. No, I think yeah, I'll go with those. I
um,
like the one called by Riot because I love his album and I love anything by Labyrinth. I'm a huge Labyrinth fan.
yeah. Um, Now, obviously, UK pop star. It's an exciting time to be in the UK for pop music, especially with Eurovision coming our way.
Yeah,
I need to ask, we cover a lot of Eurovision on the site. Are you a fan, and is it something you would consider as an artist?
I am a fan. It's yeah, I would definitely consider it as an artist.
Thinking of Eurovision, do you have any kind of like all-time favorite Eurovision track?
Yeah, I would say it's Robin Steinberg. You, do you
Yeah,
know that
the
song?
Swedish entry was it 2013, I think.
2013, yeah. Wow, are you a massive fan of
I
Eurovision?
do love it. Do love it. Yeah.
And I
I
actually worked with Robin as well
oh, did
after
you?
that. I was a fan because I loved that song. That's how I discovered him.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
then yeah, a few years later I did a session with him, yeah.
Oh, he was great that year.
Yeah.
Um,
And I love Euphoria as well, obviously.
yeah.
So I'm a big Swedish fan. I love the Swedish music.
Do you ever check out the Swedish like national selection, the Melody Festivalen?
Yeah, I did actually said submit a song to them once
Oh,
as well.
really? Amazing.
Yeah, there was a meeting where I might have even been able to have like entered that as an artist. Obviously, I wasn't Norwegian though, and then the
Mhm.
concept of the show didn't work out because they were kind of doing like a north, east, south, west battle
All right.
for who's
Okay.
going to represent Norway. So then having a foreigner wouldn't have worked, but they did like the song.
Well, maybe something to go back to.
I know that would have been good. Yeah, definitely.
I would love to kind of broaden it out now and kind of have a wee quick fire round. The first answer that comes into your head, nothing too tricky here. Um,
Right,
okay, so I would love to know favorite movie,
Titanic.
Titanic. One thing that you own that you need to chuck out.
Some old slippers or something. I don't know.
Your biggest fear.
Spiders or something. It's
Favorite
not really a big
animal,
fear. Favorite animal, dog.
dog. If you could visit any other time period in history,
Oh, 70s.
70s, a wee bit disco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love disco music.
Yeah, but Studio 54 in the 70s, I think would be like,
Yeah,
yeah.
a vibe.
Um, if you could tell me your worst habit,
Worst habit. I can't be quick with these. I need to think. You need to ask my boyfriend that. He'll tell you. I'm quite messy. I'm quite messy. I leave things everywhere. I think that's quite a creative thing, isn't it? People say.
yeah, I mean, don't say that. My partner, he's the worst. I've literally just had to go about like a mountain of clothes that have just piled up.
All
So
right.
I relate to your other half.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
like, the room's a mess.
one of these things. It's I guess it's a creative mind. We'll go with that. That's a nice excuse.
Yeah.
What is the most starstruck you've ever been?
Starstruck. I bet Brian May from Queen,
Oh,
which was pretty awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
and he was such a nice guy. Yeah, it's probably him.
Is the hair as big as it looks?
Yeah, it was then. Yeah.
This is a weird one now. Your favorite smell?
My favorite smell is cedar wood.
Oh, nice.
I love that that's like the weird question and I had an answer straight away.
One song could be by anyone that you wish you had written.
Feel Fine by Emily Nicholas.
Okay. And the last one, who would play you in a film?
Some people say I look like Bradley Cooper, so I'll say him.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you've kind of answered these quite well, did well. Nothing too tricky. Um, well, thank you so much. It's honestly been lovely talking to you, and it's been great to kind of write about your music and to share some great pop music. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for the support.